Monterey Bay on this Saturday night. A gorgeous evening from Cardinale Stadium in Seaside. And tonight, presented by Montage Health at Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC and Monterey Bay FC. Good evening, Matt Peterson with the former Penn State Nittany Lion, Anna Whitty. We look at the table. It's been a precipitous drop for Monterey Bay. They were near the top, now they're down to 11.
Monterey Bay just hasn't found their groove in the last 9 matches, have only scored 3 goals. However, for Colorado Springs, 3 points here tonight can really solidify themselves in the middle of the table and when it comes to making that playoff push as the season winds down.
They've just hung around all season. Now a 3-match unbeaten run to move to 6. Let's look back at this. This is a highlight reel for Colorado Springs. Just 90 seconds in, they got the opener from Tejada.
Colorado Springs is a team that is going to go at this Monterey Bay side. They're explosive and they're really good at connecting. Tejada's been a major piece for this Colorado Springs side and will continue to look to build off of this 4-0 win against Monterey Bay earlier in the season.
For Monterey Bay, it was a really good start to the year for Alex Dixon. He came over and was leading the Golden Boot race. 9 goals this season, but most of these came in the first few months of the year.
Forward Alex Dixon is looking to get this Monterey Bay side back on track. He leads the team with 9 goals this season. He's growing in that partnership with Okoli up top. So watch for Dixon to be explosive down the flanks, but also looking for opportunities in transition and behind.
Juan Tejada, 4 goals, 2 assists, and 25 appearances on the year. And we saw the goal in his last meeting and just heard rave reviews in our conversation this week with Stephen Hogan about what Tejada's brought to the team.
Forward Juan Tejada with 3 goals this season, 2 assists. He can do it all down the flank for the switchback side. A great character side, so he brings that momentum and that energy for this Colorado Springs side, which will be important on the road tonight.
A good one on tap for you in the USL Championship. Can Monterey Bay FC end this long winless run? Colorado Springs looking for another road win. Kickoff and lineups when we come back to Cardinale Stadium.
Coastal Roots Hospitality is a proud partner of the Monterey Bay Football Club. Coastal Roots Events and Catering, along with its 3 iconic restaurants, Montrio, Tarpe's, and Rio Grill, invite you to pick it up and pay it forward, where 10% of all proceeds from takeout orders are donated to various local charities. Their catering service and restaurants utilize local farms, butcheries, and ocean fresh sustainability-driven seafood to deliver unique and exemplary dining experiences. For more information, visit coastalrootshospitality.com.
A gorgeous night on the central coast of California. From Seaside, it's Monterey Bay FC and Colorado Springs on the campus of Cal State Monterey Bay. Starting lineup for Frank Yallop. He has really stuck with this group in good times and bad. It's Okoli up top with Boone underneath.
Monterey Bay going with a 3-2-2-2-1, and they really want to be consistent, getting Gleedle and Donor up into the attack, but also helping out defensively. Dixon and Baca are going to have really big transition roles defensively, but also getting balls into the attack. Okoli, they're looking to get goals from their true 9, getting Fair and Boone involved as well.
Frank Yallop, the head coach in his 2nd season now for Colorado Springs. You look at the front 2, Malik Foster and Fjellberg, very dangerous as a partnership.
Tejada on the right flank and Maggie on the left side. Foster in the attack, looking to continue to get more than just 3 goals and 3 assists. Chapman and Williams with a really good partnership in the middle of the field. And Mahoney, Musa, Agrin, and Skundrich will really press this back line high, looking to get into the attack with possession.
Set to go from Seaside, California. It is Monterey Bay against Colorado Springs. Matthew Corrigan's our referee. A snake-bitten Monterey Bay trying to get the home cooking and get 3 points at home. Here we go. The dark blue uniforms for Monterey Bay, the whites for the visitors, Colorado Springs, and we're underway. It's been a strange season for Monterey Bay. You look at the form guide, you look at the starting lineups, Anna, it's been basically the same team throughout, but a really strange winless run of 9 games. They've only scored 3 goals in their last 9 matches.
And Coach Yallop spoke about the last 9 games, saying that he feels like his team is playing really well. They just have been on an unfortunate run, not been able to find the results in the back of the net, have been able to hold teams at bay. However, here tonight at home is a huge potential for 3 points in front of their home crowd and looking to get back into a more competitive spot as the playoffs inch closer.
Good crowd on hand at Cardinale Stadium, and to be fair, they drew with San Antonio last week, so the defending league champions holding that team scoreless is no small feat. But again, still looking for that breakthrough win. The last win came June 24th against Miami FC. Feels like so long ago, and this team had scored 26 goals, Anna, in the first 16 games, but only 3 in their last 9, and there's a few reasons for that. Sam Gleedle missed some time after his wife gave birth to a baby, so he missed a few games. They've had some inconsistency up front, but it comes down to confidence for this Monterey Bay side in front of goal.
Gleedle with 4 goals on the season shows how important the wingbacks are for this Monterey Bay side.
Velberg will pull it back central. Good fake from Speedy Williams, and then he lost possession.
You mentioned the last time Monterey Bay got a win was against Miami FC. I happened to be on that call, so maybe I'm a good luck charm, you know, maybe for this Monterey Bay side.
I think so, Anna.
We'll see.
If they win tonight, you're coming back next time they play, which is against El Paso next weekend. So clear your calendar for September 2nd if Monterey pulls it out tonight.
I will do just that. This Monterey Bay side, just a really fun team to watch with how they just go and they don't hold back at all. They want to be quick in transition and to switch the point of attack as quickly as they can.
Speedy Williams. And it's over the end line.
Monterey Bay has been really aggressive in these first few minutes, looking to get out and be explosive. When you're at home, you have that opportunity to be quick in transition, get the crowd behind you. Colorado Springs is going to have to weather some of that storm with their back line, be consistent, and allow Monterey Bay to come at them, but just don't be too aggressive in the attack.
Oh, by the way, the head coach, Stephen Hogan, for Colorado Springs, not with the team tonight. He had to leave, head back to his native Dublin to tend to a family emergency. So we wish the best for Hogan and his family and the coaching staff helping out. James Chambers, technical director, Alan McCann, director of sports performance and assistant coach. Family comes first. Here comes Monterey Bay, the Crispin Kelp pushing forward up that right side. And Alex Dixon, a big move in the offseason from Frank Yallop, swooping him from Pittsburgh. Now it's here behind Maury Donor. Good cross from Donor. It's chested back to the goalkeeper, Joe Kazminski. It's his 8th start of the season tonight.
Colorado Springs now in really good possession, being patient in the build-up. Monterey Bay dropping all their numbers defensively.
That's a nice slip pass. And off his line to make the claim is the goalkeeper, Christian Herrera. He's the #1 for now. He's beaten out kind of the #1 to start the season, Anthony Siaha. And we talked with Frank Yallop about Carlos Herrera. He says he's just kind of the informed goalkeeper at the moment.
Araha being that player who's done a good job in possession and build out. He reads the game so well and giving him that positive momentum going into this game against Colorado Springs. A really good step off his line as well to read that play in behind.
Or a Donor with a good delivery. And it's out for a corner kick. The target was Ugo Okoli, the Washington native, signed April 20th. Last 2 seasons at Orange County for Ugo Okoli. There is a Bagel corner kick from Bagel Corner. Alex Dixon's corner kick is headed wide. The Bagel nearly ended there for Monterey Bay. That was just past the near post. But just that kind of snake bit luck in front of goal kind of shows the story over the last 9 games.
Dixon in a really good spot inside the box, just not able to convert that one, and that's what Monterey Bay is trying to work on. They've been able to build up, to get it there, to get those types of opportunities off of set pieces, just not able to convert them.
We're seeing some direct play here from Colorado Springs. It's off the back of Tejada, the Panamanian. A good work in a tight space from Obi Fair. There's Dixon running the channels. He gets there, has Okoli and Donor further upfield. It's too far in front of Boone. Donor picks it up. Donor clips it to the back post. Dixon's gonna run it down. Pulls it back to Gleedle. Gleedle clips it in. 2 in the box, but nothing comes of it for Monterey Bay.
Good idea from Gleedle. However, there was no runners making that darting run inside the 18, so Gleedle had nobody to connect with. Monterey Bay does a great job to keep that play alive, but that last piece, that last runner making a run inside has to be available to try and convert that opportunity.
A 4-0 win last time these teams met. July 4th, fireworks during the game and after for Colorado Springs. They scored 91 seconds in, the earliest goal ever conceded by Monterey Bay in their 2 seasons in the championship. And we'll see a yellow card here to Tejada. Given out to the fact by the referee Corrigan.
Tejada putting on a lot of pressure on the Monterey player who picks up the ball, watches Tejada, gets his right foot stuck in and just steps on the foot of a Monterey Bay player trying to win that ball. Pretty soft yellow. It was a 50-50 ball.
There's Kai Green across the back with Hugh Roberts. This back four so consistent last year. Grant Robinson has been in and out of the team. He is expected back at some point this year, but part of the success last year for Frank Yallop was Donor and Roberts and Kai Green and Grant Robinson game in, game out. Many of the faces remain the same. Rafael Baca is one of the new faces in that defensive midfield position. But they do have continuity, but the time is running out for a playoff run for Monterey Bay.
Monterey Bay having Kai Green and Hugh Roberts consistently on the back line gives them that consistent confidence. However, as they move up the pitch, just so many numbers, getting different minutes at different times, Gleedle being inconsistent. However, Donor's been a massive piece for this Monterey Bay side. The ability to get up in the attack, provide those crosses inside is something that Monterey Bay has to take as a positive and try and get results out of.
Good flick on from Okoli. The offside flag comes up. They're asking where the offside came from. The entire Monterey Bay team shouting at the assistant referee on this side of the field. Matthew Corrigan in charge of this one. The Crispin Kelp trying to turn this season around. I mean, they came out flying against Hartford. 5 goals in the opening match. Hard to believe that same team would go 9 games with only 3 goals.
Monterey Bay just came off a tie against San Antonio, a team that's done really well in this league so far. Second in Western Conference right now. Has to take that momentum on the road here at home and take it as a positive to get a clean sheet. No, they don't get a goal. However, it's an opportunity to continue to build at this point in the season.
And in our conversation this week with Frank Yallop, head coach of Monterey Bay, he talked about tangibly what they're doing in practice. You asked a good question about that, and he said, one thing I'm asking for is earlier service, not waiting for the perfect spot to deliver from the wide areas, early balls from the wide parts of the field like we see here from Donor.
Donor, a player who's typically in a wider spot, but he's going to be looking for balls, and so will Sam Gleedle into the attack, but it has to be right away, and trying to find players like Dixon and Okoli inside the box in transition where they don't have a mark on them. Catching this Colorado Springs 3 back kind of on their heels.
Good vision here. Maury Donor, Ontario, Canada native, was put on Frank Yallop's radar before last season. Now he's been one of the most consistent outside backs in the league of the last couple of years.
Good decision by Donor to not take that touch on that ball and just see it out of bounds. Continue the momentum, get the throw in, and try and build in the wide areas as they do have possession in the last handful amount of minutes.
And Grant Boone could not keep possession. Chase Boone, beg your pardon, the Oregon native, played at University of Redlands. Both teams trying to find their way in this one. Colorado Springs, their first 3-game unbeaten run of the season, which is somewhat surprising. You consider they're in 6th place. They coming off a really good season last year, but yet to find that consistency until now with 3 unbeaten. 2 wins plus a draw, 7 points on their last 9. Coming off a good road win at Oakland 3-2 last week. Here's Boone, Okoli, Donor to his right. Okoli across the face of goal. It slips through past Dixon. Gleedle shots blocked. Just enough in the end from Drew Skunrich.
Gleedle making that darting run inside the box. Isn't able to get there in time. Well done by Skundrich just to see through that ball. Watch as this ball gets played, and it's Okoli who continues to take it. He doesn't want to find Donor out wide because there's already a defender who's willing to slide, and watch as Gleedle on the left side of your screen just comes in. It's well stopped by the Colorado Springs defender.
Skundrich back in Northern California. He played at Stanford. Good dribbling on the ball here. Missed clearance that time. Corner kick coming for Monterey Bay. That was the Norwegian attacker, Jonas Fjellberg, with the missed clearance.
Fjellberg getting way too cheeky with it and too confident. Hitting off the top of his laces and creating the second corner kick of the game for Monterey Bay.
Dixon goes short. Right to Donor. That was an interesting corner kick. It almost felt like Dixon was pretending he mishit it just to kind of make Colorado Springs slow down, and then Donor came in with the first time delivery.
Donor with a really good ball too. He's the best crosser from that right area for Monterey Bay. Trying to get him on the ball and get those crosses inside. A big piece that Monterey Bay has been working on in training, and something that Coach Yallop is looking to see them not convert every single one, but try and get opportunities off of.
Musa opening up on this near sideline, veteran of this league. 31-year-old from New Zealand. As Colorado Springs builds. First year in charge for Stephen Hogan at Colorado Springs. He was a technical director and assistant coach under Brendan Burke. Now Burke moved on to take on an assistant coach job under Ben Olsen and Pat Onstadt, the GM at the Houston Dynamo. Good run from Speedy Williams from midfields. This is good here from Colorado Springs. Chapman joins, but it's re-won by Monterey Bay. Okoli tries to chest it down. Monterey Bay comes away with it. Lidl is in front. A Donor wants it on this near sideline. He's frustrated the switch didn't happen soon enough.
Monterey Bay had that opportunity to switch it and allow Donor just to continue to fly up the field, having a player behind him as well in Lara who could provide that overlapping run. Colorado Springs now sitting back a little bit and allowing Monterey Bay to possess it. And Donor's the player that Monterey Bay is trying to build through in the wide areas, wanting to get him on the ball a little bit more than Gleedle to provide those crosses inside.
There's Dixon. This was the part of it where we had a good chat with Grant Gallup. Always enjoyed talking to him about this kind of soccer. And he was honest with us. He said, I think we're better on the break. We have pace, we have athleticism, we have guys who can score. So they're kind of a counter-attacking style. They want to win the ball in good areas and go for it, but that was a spell of possession for Monterey Bay. Good turn from Tejeda. Tejeda with a deflected shot, and it's finally clear.
Adding Baca into the midfield for Monterey Bay has changed a lot of things. He's allowed this team to possess a little bit more. And through the midfield is what Monterey Bay is trying to build out of. He allows the game to slow down and to try and link with players like Fair into the attack and find Okoli. Monterey Bay just hasn't been able to get results in that transition, high-flying set of tempo. So when you add a player who gives a different look, you don't consistently have to play that way, but he does help when they're playing against tough opponents like Colorado Springs.
Cross from the left from Fjellberg, nice turn. A little layoff central, and Speedy Williams off the mark. A new position here for Speedy Williams, playing that defensive midfield role. He has been a rock as of late for Colorado Springs.
Colorado Springs struggled to find a good disciplined six at the beginning of the season, playing in a four-back because they felt that they didn't have somebody to fill that defensive midfield role. Now that Colorado Springs feels confidence in Williams, they have that three-back, and it allows more players to get higher into the attack and help in the build-up.
Speedy Williams leads the team in minutes, over 2,000 for the Jamaican. In our conversation with the Colorado Springs head coach, Stephen Hogan, before he had to depart for the family emergency, we talked about losing some huge pieces. Haji Berry, the leading light for Colorado Springs, trying to rebuild the roster, reload after last year's successful season. He said we wanted to bring in footballer minds. Certain games it has been there. But they want to play a similar style, and we talked to both coaches, and they sounded similar in their style of play. He said, we want to go fast. Don't bore us on the ball. Malik Foster here for Colorado Springs.
Colorado Springs is a little bit more direct and flashy on the ball with some of the forwards that they've been able to bring in. Tejeda, a big piece of that.
Flip to the back post. Maury Donor heads away. Good touch to the end line. Fjellberg slashes it across the face of goal. Easy goalkeeping for Carlos Herrera. He grew up in San Leandro, which is near Oakland, not too far from Seaside. Played at Texas A&M International in Laredo, Texas. And last year at this time, it was Anthony Siaha who was really stealing headlines across the league. Shutout after shutout, penalty stop after penalty stop. But second year in consistency, and Yallop's been around a long time, Anna, and he knows when a goalkeeper might be wobbling a bit and needs to get a bento break.
Coach Yallop really understands his team as well and his personnel as well, what they need in training and what they need throughout the season. And he has built into this team the principle and how they want to play. They have such a true identity within this league that's so different, a completely different look than any other team, and adding players that fit this dynamic so well. A step by Gleedle, Skundrich knows that Gleadle has him beat with that initial step, so he sticks his left leg inside.
Skundrich, in the book, we mentioned he went to Stanford. That's where he met Andy Sullivan, his wife, U.S. national team player. And Hogan gave us some great stories about Andy checking in on training, popping into the coaching staff, and Steven says we're always open to her ideas and kind of her contributions to a little footballing discussion.
Sullivan just coming back from the World Cup, spent a little bit of time in Colorado Springs with Skundrich, and Coach Hogan talked about how she was in and out of the office, being able to meet the coaching staff, meet other players. And he kind of joked, he said Skundrich definitely won the, what was the verbiage he used? Kind of won.
Well, he cracked a joke saying that he tells Skundrich anytime he can, your wife's a better soccer player than you.
Yes. He said he got really lucky with Andy as well, jokingly. So disappointing result for the U.S. women's national team, but really excited to see where the young squad and some of these young players led by Andy Sullivan go from there.
We'll stop in Colorado before joining the Washington Spirit. There's good stuff from Tejeda. He just, good balance there, riding out a challenge there from Kai Green. All the way back, Oscar Agren, the Swedish center back. A lot of international flavor on this team. The starting lineup tonight represented by Jamaica, Panama, Norway, Canada, Sweden, and New Zealand. Back to Brendan Burke before Stephen Hogan took over of player development. Burke at Philadelphia Union, several national team players for the U.S. come through.
Coach Hogan has been a part of Colorado Springs for a while now, starting in a technical director position. He spoke about how he didn't always want the head coaching role, but he's developed such a fun organization and such a specific style of play that even though he has to depart for a family emergency, he trusts the people who are filling in for that role because they've been around him, they understand what he wants to do for such a long time in this switchback system.
Cagey start to this game. Fjellberg, the Norwegian. Speedy Williams, top of the Tejeda for Stephen Hogan tonight. Also part of that Philadelphia setup. Was with the Union Academy under Brendan Burke. So there's a lot of continuity from Burke to Hogan and the acting head coach tonight, James Chambers. And a witty 23 minutes in, your thoughts so far on this one?
Monterey Bay started this match really strong, looking to exploit Colorado Springs in the wide areas, getting Donor involved. However, Colorado Springs has noticed that and started to slide multiple players over to slow down that opportunity from the wide area, and it's been back and forth. It really can be anybody's game, both sides trying to set the tempo now in the 25th.
Alex Lara. He's one of the newcomers, his 5th start tonight, 10th appearance overall. Dixon. Here comes Hugh Roberts. From Maryland, he played at George Mason.
Roberts popping out of the back line to continue to help provide more opportunities in the attack. Has started 20 games so far this season, has been so consistent underneath what Coach Yallop is trying to do and trying to really help continue to put more numbers into the attack and getting more numbers involved, leaving 2 numbers behind that are more vulnerable.
Obi Fair lost it. Tejeda's everywhere. That's the One of the attacking pieces defending near his corner flag on the defensive side. Some pressure applied by Okoli. Back to the goalkeeper, Kuzminski. Good work breaking the pressure by Colorado Springs. Tyreek McGee, we haven't mentioned his name, but he's been excellent as of late. 2 goals at Oakland for the 3-2 win. Another Jamaican joined a rather large contingent. 5 Jamaicans in this team for Colorado Springs. Yeah, for Mario Williams, 8 goals on the year, available off the bench tonight for Colorado Springs. Another reggae boy, and Shane Beckford also having a good year with 2 goals, 4 assists. He's available for selection as well.
Colorado Springs starting to possess a little bit more, allowing Monterey Bay to sit back and trying to find players like Tejada. Monterey Bay understanding their defensive principles really well, so Colorado Springs can break a few lines, but once they try and get to the attacking third, Monterey Bay's right there to stop them.
And here's the challenge, I think, right now for Monterey. We talked about it, only 3 goals in their last 9 games without a win. The book is out. Good success last year under Frank Yallop. And kind of a counter-attacking style. So I think when teams play them now, especially in Seaside, they take less risk. They're careful on the ball. They're not going to put too many numbers forward. So when the ball is lost, they're in a good defensive phase. And Monterey now has the onus of breaking teams down. And it's been difficult as of late.
Monterey Bay's really struggled with that final piece or that final action in the attacking third. They commit so many numbers into the attack normally with how aggressive they are.
Tejada has options. Good sliding challenge. Made it difficult as Tejada came through.
Tejada trying to stay in a wide area, allowing that ball to come across, and at the last second just isn't able to get that one off. It's a great slide tackle by Monterey Bay to not allow that ball inside the 18.
We saw James Chambers, he played with Bethlehem Steel and started his coaching career on a part-time basis with the Philadelphia Union Pre-Academy. Retired as a player in 2019. Some big names. And Brendan Aronson, Mark McKenzie, Austin Trusty, Matt Real, Matt Freese, and many more. I think most would consider Philadelphia Union a top 3 academy as of late in Major League Soccer in terms of producing players.
Chambers bringing so much of what he learned in Philadelphia to Colorado Springs, and the way that Colorado Springs plays is so disciplined, and having such a clear identity helps with the continuity of how well the coaches know each other.
Malik Foster, well-timed run, good work, tracking all the way back from Maury Donor. He's played every minute of the season for Monterey Bay, Maury Donor.
Donor having to do the defensive work tonight because this Colorado Springs team is going to look to get out in the wide areas. Since Monterey Bay plays in a 3-back, that wide area is so vulnerable that he's going to have to get back defensively.
We saw Frank Yallop there. This is the kind of break Monterey Bay wants. With the other team in retreat, this is 3v3 if they go quickly. Return ball just behind Gleedle. And now we see how they play against a team that's back in good shape. Dixon. Maury Donor, good fake. And he lost it. And really a snapshot of Monterey Bay right now didn't really have enough in that counterattack. And then once they had to face a bunkered in Colorado Springs, they didn't really have a good idea.
Monterey Bay struggled in the wide areas, and the only idea that they're really trying to use is Donor inside. There is open opportunity centrally to try and exploit Colorado Springs. That option just has to be explored more often.
Now, Frank Yallop was very upbeat. He typically is, not panicking despite the winless run. He talked about the home form, really the thing that stands out to him. You have to win at home. You have to pick up points. Too many wasted chances 2 straight shutouts at home offensively, losing to Phoenix and Sacramento on back-to-back weekends during this winless run. Before that, a 3-1 home loss to Oakland, a Northern California rival, a home scoreless draw with El Paso. This team has had 4 times to break the streak at home and unable to do so.
Monterey Bay, a side that just hasn't been able to figure out the small detail in the attack, and sometimes it's just a long skid of games that it takes a team in a 34-game season to figure out, especially when it comes to Velisky and Dixon and Okoli in the attack, trying to get those numbers, getting confident, seeing the ball go in the back of the net is hard to do when you've only scored 3 goals in 9 matches.
There's Dixon. Lara. Lara played for Las Vegas Lights last year. She was affiliated with LAFC. Out comes the goalkeeper. Kuzminski clears.
Kuzminski's so confident to step off his line and clear that one wide, because Donor with 1 touch could have beaten his defender and the goalkeeper towards goal. And Colorado Springs, a side that feels that momentum and they feel the confidence going to this match in that 6th spot in the Western standings, playing against a team who's really struggled to get results. So the goalkeeper is going to feel the freedom to take more risk.
Good defending. It was nearly on there from Obi Fair. Chapman, good strength against Okoli. Corner kick is coming. You see the emotion for Donor. He wants to snap the winless run tonight.
Monterey Bay putting 2 numbers on Colorado Springs defensively, just not allowing him to build out. And this is the 3rd corner kick for Monterey Bay. They have to find a way to really contest the goalkeeper inside the 18.
A bagel corner kick. Dixon ready for it. Malik Foster in the book for dissent. After that decision, he joined Skunrich on yellow cards for Colorado Springs. Here's Dixon from the corner. Headed over the bar, that was Lara.
Much better from Monterey Bay, just to get a touch on it inside the 18. A good ball in from Donor. And with 3 corner kicks underneath Monterey's belt, they see how Colorado Springs is setting up defensively, and they have to make sure they're making the tactical decisions to move into the right spots to try and convert.
A strange season for Monterey Bay. It seems like when it rains, it pours in a good way or bad. Many of their wins have been by multiple goals. They scored 5 against Hartford the first game of the season. They put 4 past New Mexico in a 4-2 win in early April. They scored 4 again against Loudoun United. But they've also been shut out quite a bit. So it seems like when they get 1, that confidence builds, Anna Whitty, and they get 2, 3, and 4. If they don't get 1, maybe a lack of confidence builds, and they start to second guess themselves in the final third.
Monterey Bay have to find a way to continue to build off of just seeing 1 goal go in the back of the net and see how that worked well, whether that's through the middle of the field or from the wide areas, and also seeing how their main goal scorers are liking to receive the ball in order to score.
Long run here from Malik Foster. Had a chance to shoot, kept possession instead. Jonas Fjellberg. Here comes Tyreek McGee. Foster. Okoli. He earns a free kick there. Now Chapman's been battling Okoli. Chapman's smaller, but he's been toe-to-toe with a much larger Okoli here in the first half.
Chapman playing in a double pivot with Williams, typically in an attacking role. However, that responsibility of Okoli is important for Colorado Springs because he's that sole outlet for Monterey Bay and is going to have to take a lot of, he's going to contain a lot of players around him in order for this Colorado Springs to keep them at bay.
Rafa Baca came over from Cruz Azul July 27th to Monterey Bay. He's 32 years of age. 4th straight start for Baca. Matt Mahoney, another regular for Colorado Springs. 3rd season with the Switchbacks, following 2 years with Sacramento. Good touch from Lara. And now it's Chase Boone. Off the back of Okoli. And that's unfortunate. It's a good spot where they won it, but then it's Okoli 1 versus 3. That's a very difficult counterattack, Anna.
Monterey Bay has struggled to get many numbers up with Okoli. Okoli needs an option back, and then they can exploit in the wide areas, allowing Okoli to continue his run. Good touch from Fjellberg, the Norwegian. Good save. And an eyes for goal, but it's kept out by Carlos Herrera. Herrera making a great save by diving to his left and also getting down. It was well done by Colorado Springs to bring that ball inside the 18, and watch as Herrera sees as he dribbles to his right. All that Herrera could do was just dive to his left and get a touch on the ball. Good save from the San Leandro native, 25 years of age. Frank Gallup told us earlier this season his mental side is growing. There's a cross towards the spot. And Malik Foster asking for the ball to come down. Tejada. Great strength from Tejada. He just stays on his feet so well. Coley, a little self-pass, pretty clever there. Speedy Williams doing a defensive midfielder's job, just denying that counterattack. Monterey Bay looking for that quick outlet. Okoli has one option, and there's 3 Colorado Springs numbers surrounding that only option. Monterey Bay has to be a little bit faster when it comes to building out in transition, especially if that's the way that they want to consistently play. Alec Lara was with Hartford before Las Vegas, now with Monterey Bay. Just 1 shot in this game for Monterey Bay, 3 for Colorado Springs. Okoli, the only option inside the 18. The crosses are on and they have to be quick. However, there has to be numbers inside the box trying to convert those opportunities. However, even then, if they don't cross them inside, it would just be a missed opportunity from Monterey Bay. So getting more numbers involved in the attack really is the sole thing that Monterey Bay has to fix. That's a nice build-up here from Colorado Springs. And it's fallen here to Tyreek McGee. McGee towards the corner. Speedy Williams just glancing right and left as he settles. Musa joining. Space for Musa. Instead, wide to Fjellberg. Second ball won by James Musa. Good cross from Musa. And at the back post, a free kick is given. Call a foul here on Drew Skundrich. Skundrich getting way too high over top of the Monterey Bay defender unnecessarily, but it's a great ball in from the wide areas from Colorado Springs, looking to make a connection. Skundrich coming all the way off the back line, looking to convert on that one. Carlos Herrera from the Bay Area out to Texas for college soccer at Texas A&M International, and back to Northern California for his pro career with Monterey Bay. Obi Fair, back with you, Roberts. You can hear Frank Gallup asking Lara to get wider.
Good flick on, but too far in front of Donor.
Lara getting wider opens up that space centrally because it drags the attention of the Colorado Springs midfielders and forwards and then allows Donor to be alone a little bit wider. He's been that main target and that option, just not able to connect.
Chapman. No run from Fjellberg. It's too far for Juan Tejada.
Colorado Springs has had 10 touches in Monterey Bay's box, where Monterey Bay's only had 4 touches inside Colorado Springs area. Monterey Bay has had some possession and has been able to build up. However, it just hasn't been executed well. Colorado Springs is taking advantage of their opportunities to get inside the 18, just haven't been lucky to convert.
Good point, Anna. And you think about those 4 touches, only 24 final third entries, so they're getting the ball in the final third, but once they get there, not much support for Ugo Okoli up front.
The defensive side is there for Monterey Bay. It's proven that they can handle any team in this league. However, when it comes to the buildup and it comes to scoring goals, that's been that missing link and that missing piece that Monterey Bay has to figure out. The piece for Monterey Bay just has to be quicker in transition, getting numbers forward as well. They just are way too lax in getting forward once they do receive the ball if they want to be that quick in transition style of play.
Fjellberg goes down, looked a little soft from the Norwegian. Matthew Corrigan thought it was a foul. Chase Boone pleading his case. Big decision given to Colorado Springs.
Just outside the area, Fjellberg taking that ball, trying to get it inside the 18, and multiple numbers from Monterey Bay. Getting too much pressure behind Fjellberg, creating this great opportunity for the Switchbacks.
Norwegian and Swedish ancestry. He was born in Malmo, Sweden. Fjellberg with Indy 11. 8 goals last year. So it's Chapman or Tyreek McGee. A really good opportunity here for Colorado Springs. I'd say 3 in the wall here for Monterey Bay. And it's punched away by Herrera. And now Monterey Bay can try and break. How do they handle this counterattack opportunity? Just a wasteful ball. There was 3 options there. It's hit right to Musa.
Monterey Bay with their best transition look as well, because 4 numbers were looking to get out. However, just nobody is right there, and Musa reading that play so well. Monterey Bay with their backs to the ball have to be able to continue to check their shoulder, but also trying to get into the spot to receive it.
Tyreek McGee. Dixon will make that Kai Green, I should say. Okoli's just on an island up there at this point. 2 on his back every time he receives, or 3 for the former Golden Boot winner in the USL Championship. He had 16 back with FC Cincinnati in 2016, as he also won the MVP award. Williams, Mahoney, Tejada.
Great idea from Colorado Springs just to continue to pass as Tejada does all the work in the middle of the field to keep this play alive. Tejada, a true hold-up player for this Colorado Springs side, because he can be so patient once he does receive the ball to keep the ball away from Monterey Bay's defenders.
Okoli gets the support, and then a clip from behind from Fjellberg. Fjellberg commits the foul. He is shown a yellow card by Corrigan. A minimum of 2 minutes will be added on at the end of this first half.
An opportunity from Monterey Bay as Boone gets himself going and Fieldberg just clips him from behind. It's a really good opportunity to get Okoli going, and Boone just not able to get enough on that ball because Fieldberg gets his right foot into Boone's area.
Fieldberg played at University of Dayton. Drafted by FC Cincinnati 2 years ago. Restart here for Monterey Bay and Rafael Baca. Far side throw in Sam Gleedle. It's a challenge because we talked with Frank Gallup about early service. I think they like more early service, but they don't have the runners to get on the end of it. Right now, it's really Ugo Okoli all alone in the box.
Okoli all alone in the box. However, Monterey Bay notices that, and now they're starting to possess and swing the ball through their midfield, allowing players like Farah Baca to live on the ball and allowing Okoli to receive the ball when he can.
It's fallen here to Donor, but the offside flag is up. Ugo Okoli did so well. You can see the strength there, riding out a challenge, keeping possession for his side. Some jeers for the near side assistant referee, who said Maury Donor was offside.
Much better in the build-up play from Monterey Bay, getting Okoli going once they found him the best moment and best opportunity that he was isolated against the center back. Fortunate that Donor just couldn't stay two steps behind. And Okoli, he's not a hold-up player. He wants to receive the ball going forward and in behind. So when they do try and isolate him, they have to make sure it's the right moment for him and he doesn't have multiple numbers on his back.
Halftime from Cardinale Stadium. Scoreless after 45 minutes. Anna Whitty, your thoughts?
Monterey Bay did much better when it came to possessing at the end of this match. However, those opportunities in the wide areas, getting crosses inside, isn't going to work against this Switchback side, who's really defensively organized. For the Switchbacks, good in transition, getting Tejada on the ball, just haven't had too many opportunities inside the box to convert against Herrera.
Work to do for Frank Gallup and his coaching staff. We saw Carlos Herrera, who made a very good save in that first half to keep it scoreless. Halftime from Seaside, California. Monterey Bay and Colorado Springs scoreless after 45 minutes.
Are you paying too much for your car insurance? Call Coast Auto Insurance to receive a free quote and see how much you could save. Coast works with over 50 different insurance companies to make sure you get the best rate for your car, motorcycle, home, or business. Coast is a local company with local people. We do vehicle registration, SR22, and insurance for Mexico. Call Coast Auto Insurance today for a free quote and see how much we can save you. Or go to coastautoinsurance.com, where your peace of mind is guaranteed.
Tonight's halftime is presented by Integris Wealth Management. And our score, Monterey Bay FC and Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC scoreless after 45 minutes. Two of the masters of the craft, two of the elder statesmen from the coaches in the USL Championship, Frank Yallop of Monterey Bay and Mark Briggs of Sacramento Republic. Here is more from both as they share their crafts.
Welcome to another episode of The Craft presented by Tequila Corralejo. I'm Sarah Kate Kilby and we're here in Sacramento, California to sit down with Sacramento Republic FC's head coach Mark Briggs and Monterey Bay FC's head coach Frank Yallop. Let's get into upbringings, inspiration, and the craft of coaching.
Well, my first start in coaching was in Tampa. Right. Finished my career playing. And then got offered the second assistant coaching job at Tampa. And then my first head coaching job was at the San Jose Earthquakes 2001 season.
Started in Wilmington, North Carolina, finished playing with the Hammerheads, and then fell into coaching, was the assistant for a couple of seasons, and then worked in the youth academy there. Then the coach they hired, they fired and asked me if I wanted to do it, so I did it for the first year in 2016. And here we are. Pretty impressive. A lot of fortune, really, to get to the level they were at. A lot of dedication, doing the licenses, having a good mindset, a growth mindset, sometimes being in the right place at the right time.
I think a lot of times with coaching, you have a sort of a plan of what you want your teams to look like, but you've got to work with what you kind of have sometimes as well. So, yeah. And that's probably the hardest part, I think, in coaching.
I think you're only as good as the players you have at your disposal, really, aren't you?
I think the big thing as well is getting the best out of the lads, the players, just treating them well, and, they follow you and they listen to you, and that's what I've always tried to do, and I think it comes out in most of my teams.
The connection is huge, connection between yourself and the players allows you to be successful.
I was lucky enough to play not in the first team under Bobby Robson.
Right.
He said to me, he wants to be able to see one of his players he's coached 15 years down the line and they're going to give me a hug. He wanted to be like a good person. I think it was Ronaldo, the Brazilian Ronaldo.
The original.
the original.
Yeah, the original.
And then they asked him who's the best coach that he's ever had, and he said the best person I've ever had is Bobby Robson, and that was it. But it's just being fair with players and making sure that I got their back when they need it. So that really stuck with me, to be honest. So
I was really close to my grandma, and just before she passed away, she said to me, "Always treat people the way you want to be treated." I've took that into my coaching. Constantly evolving the game, right? And I think if you looked at Mark Briggs of 2016 and Mark Briggs now, very different person, very different the way I do things, how I communicate, organisation, the conversations with the players.
Well, it shows in your results, by the way, so you know what I mean? I've been in a long time now, 20 odd years, just over 20 years of head coaching, so you see different characters. Right. And different level of players. I've evolved a little bit, but I'm pretty much old school with my structure of what I want from the players, and I think I just want to get in a good environment for the players to enjoy and express themselves, and they feel not so much trapped in it, and more that they're the ones initiating the play, so they feel more sort of in it, if that makes sense.
For sure. So you obviously give the players simple messaging, and they can carry that out, and then they want to play for you, which is obviously another thing on top of that.
That's a good joy when you work on stuff on the week and talk about it, you do film or whatever you're doing, and then you sort of teach them a little bit of stuff, and it comes out in the match. It's like, oh, brilliant. You're like, wow, they did listen, actually.
Being able to connect with a person and being able to motivate a person is much more impactful than knowing your X's and O's.
Nice to me, you get someone asking you stuff. It's like, oh, he's kind of interested in this, you're the nearest thing that they can ask.
Right.
Because you're coaching them. Sort of thing.
Yeah.
So you got to connect. You got to be able to connect with the team and the players. When you're saying something, you got to believe what you're saying.
And results always help you.
Yeah, they do.
Do you know what I mean? For those.
Yeah.
Like talking about those guys, if you, I don't know, you change their tactics or you do something different, but then you get beat for the next 3 or 4 weeks, it's like, he doesn't know what he's doing.
Right.
But you change it and you win, he's a genius.
Exactly.
You know?
We put someone who scores, you're like, look at this guy.
Exactly. Knows what he's doing.
Yeah, exactly.
I could sit here and talk to you all night and pick your brain.
We are, I think.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Coastal Roots Hospitality is a proud partner of the Monterey Bay Football Club. Coastal Roots Events and Catering, along with its 3 iconic restaurants, Monterey, Tarpe's, and Rio Grill, invite you to pick it up and pay it forward, where 10% of all proceeds from takeout orders are donated to various local charities. Their catering service and restaurants utilize local farms, butcheries, and ocean fresh sustainability-driven seafood to deliver unique and exemplary dining experiences. For more information, visit coastalrootshospitality.com.
News and notes from across the USL Championship. Matt Peterson with Anna Whitty. Tough news, really, for the entire league and for San Diego. USL announced it will transition the franchise rights held by San Diego Loyal's ownership group to a new market. And this is the last year for San Diego. Started in 2020. A really successful 4-year run, but not a viable stadium opportunity in San Diego.
San Diego with such a fun fan base as well. Very hard to hear the ownership talk about having to hand over the rights and close the doors in San Diego. Who've done a great job in the Western Conference the last 4 years.
Meanwhile, up the road, Northern California, Sacramento Republic celebrates 10 years later tonight on ESPN+. Here is the schedule. Tomorrow, Birmingham and Detroit City. A midweek clash in Texas, RGV in San Antonio. Some other good matchups. What stands out to you, Anna?
Excited to see Miami FC take on Indy 11. Indy 11 with a midweek game on Wednesday, a game and a loss to Loudoun United. Now has to face a Miami FC side that's starting to kind of find themselves up the table.
Get set. On-field shenanigans inside Cardinale Stadium. The score is scoreless at halftime, presented by Integris Wealth Management. More coming up from Seaside.
Coastal Roots Hospitality is a proud partner of the Monterey Bay Football Club. Coastal Roots Events and Catering, along with its 3 iconic restaurants, Monterey, Tarpey's, and Rio Grill, invite you to pick it up and pay it forward, where 10% of all proceeds from takeout orders are donated to various local charities. Their catering service and restaurants utilize local farms, butcheries, and ocean-fresh, sustainability-driven seafood to deliver unique and exemplary dining experiences. For more information, visit coastalrootshospitality.com.
Are you paying too much for your car insurance? Call Coast Auto Insurance to receive a free quote and see how much you could save. Coast works with over 50 different insurance companies to make sure you get the best rate for your car, motorcycle, home, or business. Coast is a local company with local people. We do vehicle registration, SR22, and insurance for Mexico. Call Coast Auto Insurance today for a free quote and see how much we can save you. Or go to coastautoinsurance.com, where your peace of mind is guaranteed.
Highlights of the first 45 minutes, Colorado Springs and Monterey Bay and Anawitty early on. This chance for Colorado Springs.
Fieldberg with a great touch inside the 18. Herrera has to make a massive diving save. The really only massive chance from Colorado Springs in the first half, even though they found themselves in some really dangerous areas in and around the 18. A great set piece looking to try and convert. Monterey Bay with only a few chances in the first half, solely from Okoli, who's been left all by himself to try and convert goals for them.
We'll see what changes are in mind for each side. As Monterey Bay tries to snap a 9-match unbeaten run. Impressed by Tejada in that first half. The Panamanian was lively and energetic, continuing his bright starts. Here we go in the second half. Monterey Bay and the Crispin Kelp. That's blue to the layman. And for the visitors from Colorado Springs in the white uniforms. Hugh Roberts on the ball here. And now Sam Gleadle. Dixon heads it wide for Gleadle. Good work from Gleadle. He's opened up space. Baca. Okoli all the way back for Alec Lara. And this feels like one of those moments where Frank Yallop has said it's taking too long for the cross to happen. Now it comes through and it's clear.
Too long for the cross to happen from Donor. However, there was nobody in the first half inside the 18, and now there's numbers actually inside the box for Monterey Bay. So there is definitely a balance of taking and being patient, but also trying to execute it as fast as you can with numbers that are available to try and convert.
We're seeing more overlaps, more risk taken. Dixon pops up in that wide area supporting Maury Donor. Okoli being the hold-up man. He spins on top of it, trying to find Boone, but good defending, tracking back by Tyreek McGee. It's something that Frank Yallop told us earlier this season about Maury Donor. Great year last year, one of the best outside backs in the league, but the book is out. More teams game planning against him. Baca's cross is deflected and out for a corner kick. Yallop said teams are scouting him a bit more, blocking him, stopping him, but he is still finding a way.
Baca has completed 84% of his passes in the 3 games he's played in with Monterey Bay. Shows how consistent he has been inside the middle of the field, trying to connect and in the build-up within a highly transitional team.
Dixon from the corner, it's flicked on and just touched away. If not, it was waiting for Kai Green. Tons of space on this right side. Speedy Williams carried that from his own box into the final third.
So much space for Williams. There has to be Monterey Bay players tracking back defensively and trying to get into position while also slowing down the options that Williams is trying to connect with.
It's very interesting. Both teams like to break. They like to go counterattack. It's like when they have the ball against the setup, they're not at their best. We're seeing very patient here from Colorado Springs, but you can just see in their body language they'd much prefer to be out on the break.
Monterey Bay just trying to get organized defensively off a set piece as well, struggling to figure out what pockets do they pick up. Colorado Springs has done a great job in the build-up, connecting and being patient to find the right numbers. There's no reason to fly out into the second half, looking to find numbers in transition when they have good numbers that can play on the ball.
Tejada wins the loose ball. Tejada has options, 4 in the box for Colorado Springs. There's a cross headed away by Hugh Roberts. Good strike is blocked. That was Moby Fair. They'll make that Lara blocking the well-hit shot from Jay Chapman. Chapman, good sportsmanship. He checks on Lara.
On the other end of the field, Monterey Bay with a really good look, and it just goes over green, not able to get that final touch on that ball as Colorado Springs sees that one into the wide area. Now Monterey Bay with 4 corner kicks where they weren't able to put a threat.
Tyreek McGee's corner is cleared. Out to Fjellberg. Tyreek McGee very shifty as he cuts inside. Good crowd on hand tonight at Cardinale Stadium in Seaside, trying to lift their team to an opening goal. Direct from Boone. That's good work. That's the defensive midfielder acting as a center back, staying in front of Okoli there.
Okoli, again, still the lone player in the attack for Monterey Bay. Nobody following him. Colorado Springs has that figured out, noticing that Okoli's the only number that they have to put defensive pressure on in transition for Monterey Bay. There's no option underneath because Monterey Bay's been pretty slow to get into the attack with him.
Dixon wide for Sam Gleedle. Rafael Baca. Okoli the target. Leaves it back for Boone. Nice footwork from Boone. His shot is blocked. A bit unlucky again for Monterey Bay. Good work sliding over Oscar Agren. The Swedish center back blocked that well-hit strike from Boone.
Boone in a great spot as well, just offering that option from Okoli underneath. Okoli's really been by himself, looking for an option with his back facing the goal. With Boone facing towards goal, Okoli can get out of the way right away.
Better for Monterey. They found his feet, laid it back for Boone. Boone 1 goal in the season.
Monterey Bay has improved a lot. Now 5 shots inside the box. They're inching a little bit closer towards goal. However, that big one from Boone is something that Monterey Bay has to take as a notice, that that's how they're going to get their chances, with Okoli being the presence and then other numbers as options underneath.
Here's Matt Mahoney, played at Temple. Skundrich took a good shot. Referee says play on, direct to Okoli. Colorado Springs continues to do well. That was good work from Agren, the Swedish center back, out-muscling Okoli.
Mahoney, a really consistent player next to Musa on that back line for Colorado Springs. When Monterey Bay plays against a Colorado Springs team who has such a solid back line, it's going to be really hard to throw them off with just one player in Okoli being the target into the attack. Has to be more dynamic movement, has to be Okoli trying to get wide, maybe 1v1 against Skundrich or even against a Grin. But 1v1 between Mahoney and Okoli is not gonna be in Monterey Bay's favor often.
We hear go from Frank Yallop and his bench, trying to high press there. But Colorado Springs able to work through it. Space here for Switchbacks FC. Speedy Williams. Good feet in traffic for McGee. Wide here, Drew Skunrich. Malik Foster. Nice interplay there, but the last pass does not come off. And now Monterey has a moment they want. Up transition, Alex Dixon has two to his right. Dixon here for Monterey Bay FC. He's looking for runners. It goes to the back post, and a corner kick will come. James Musa stayed with the run and tracked Chase Boone.
A great run from Monterey Bay to get the ball in the wide areas. Dixon providing that ball just far post, not able to connect, but it's a different look from Monterey Bay in a different area, and it's setting up another corner kick for the Union.
Great crowd on hand at Cardinale Stadium. A bagel corner kick. Dixon to take. Gleedle. Donor all the way back to Herrera. Carlos Herrera, direct ball. Coaching staff wants Monterey Bay to press here.
Has to be faster from Monterey Bay as soon as Colorado Springs have their back towards the field and facing their own goal with the ball at their feet. That's a notice to get the Union going and pressing on Colorado Springs back line. There's not many numbers committed to that press. Colorado Springs has done a good job of possessing the majority of this game. Now 56%, connected well over 400 passes, and have been so patient looking for their opportunity. However, credit to Monterey Bay. They've kept Colorado Springs off the score sheet and have not allowed them in the 18 here in the second.
Moby Fair into the book for that challenge.
Fair stepping really hard against McGee as McGee's trying to play the ball backwards. Watches Fair just steps off his line, continues to follow McGee. McGee slows down. As soon as McGee loses the ball, Fair just clips the back of McGee's ankle. No reason to win the ball there if you're Fair. Just a little bit of frustration from the center midfielder who's been chasing a lot of the ball.
Tyreek McGee pulls out Hugh Roberts. Matt Mahoney. Mahoney has those ties to Bethlehem Steel, along with Stephen Conger, the head man. James Chambers, technical director. Alan McCann, and the departed Brendan Burke, all with ties to the Philadelphia Union organization and Bethlehem Steel. Chapman, the Canadian. Good vision there. Not sure if that was a shot or a hopeful cross for Skunrich off the foot of Tyreek McGee.
A grin with a good touch just to keep it out of Skunrich's way. Has to see that one out. And Monterey Bay just showing how they're getting a little bit disorganized when Colorado Springs can break that defensive line, because a grin's back is facing the field and he's facing his own goal.
Fifth corner kick of the night for Colorado Springs. Tyreek McGee, one of 5 Jamaicans on this Colorado Springs team. Fjellberg, good fake. Inviting ball is poked away. Good work for Moby Fair in traffic there. Tejada against Donor from the end line, pulls it back, and Fair again in a good spot.
Colorado Springs starting to feel a little bit more confident as they are connecting in the attacking third. Monterey Bay just hasn't been able to clear any of these balls out high and wide and relieve some of this pressure.
Good turn from Fjellberg. He has his head up. He's trying to clip it to the far post, and it's headed away by Gleedle and further cleared by Dixon. Fjellberg, excellent dribbling. Fjellberg, the Norwegian, top of the box. His shot is blocked. One-man show from Jonas Fjellberg.
Fjellberg with way too much freedom and allowed to dribble into that 18. Way too dangerous, and Monterey Bay has to be able to shut that down right away.
Dixon earns a free kick. It's a second yellow, and now Colorado Springs is down a man. Malik Foster was booked in the first half for dissent. A professional foul here against Dixon and a turning point in this game.
Foster pulling down on the shoulders of of Dixon as he's trying to get out in transition. Foster knows he's already sitting on a yellow. You can't be that player who wraps your arm around an opponent.
Good point. You cannot give the referee that opportunity. Some would say the referee needs to understand the moment, but he is calling it by the letter of the law. That is a professional foul 10 times out of 10, what Malik Foster did to Alex Dixon.
Not a soft yellow at all from the referee. Well-deserved from Foster, and Foster tracking back defensively. Colorado Springs had numbers, so Foster didn't have to win that ball in the moment. He had the sideline working in his favor, trying to slow down Dixon as well. Foster just getting way too heated in that moment and puts his team in a really uncomfortable position on the road. The game is still 0-0. It's been back and forth at moments, even though Colorado Springs has had the momentum. And now Monterey Bay up a player, looking to get that 3 points at home.
And that might have been a really smart play from Alex Dixon. I don't know if he saw Foster or who was tracking him, but Dixon just hit the brakes, waited for some contact, drew the foul. If he thought, hey, here's a guy in a yellow chasing me down, that's a really smart soccer play from Alex Dixon.
We'll go with the fact that Dixon knew Foster was chasing him from behind. However, on the other hand, Monterey Bay has really struggled when they've gotten out in transition. It was just one player in the attack. Dixon likely just waiting for numbers to come with him in the attack. And Foster, a massive player for this Colorado Springs side. 3 goals, 3 assists this season, a big piece of the attack, a player that Hogan just lights up about with how he can create, how he sees the field. Now that Colorado Springs doesn't have a goal themselves, they lose a player like Foster who helps them create in the attacking third, a massive negative.
A change is coming for Frank Yallop. Christian Valesky preparing to come on. He's been productive, but not a regular starter as of late, as the goals have dried up for Monterey Bay as of late. But he has goals in him, 7 on the season for Christian Valesky. He'll hope to change the game with Colorado Springs. And it's very interesting, Anna, because Colorado Springs had dominated possession since halftime, 59% of possession since the start of the second half before that red card. I think things are going to change in that department now with Monterey up a player.
Monterey Bay now being able to use Valesky as a player with fresh legs. He understands the game. He's been watching how this Colorado Springs side has been able to stop the attack of the single 9, and Valesky now he can get in behind. He's a little bit more of a hold-up player for Monterey Bay. Colorado Springs, now Fjellberg is the true 9. Without Foster, Fjellberg is going to be that outlet player and is going to need a little bit more help. So McGee and Tejada, once they get in the attack, are going to have to help Fjellberg underneath, out wide, to help look for results.
Christian Valesky from Henderson, Nevada, played college soccer at SIU Edwardsville. Will replace Ugo Okoli. Valesky comes on. Great return, 7 and 4, 7 goals, 4 assists. Top 15 USL Championship all-time goals for Valesky.
Valesky hasn't scored a goal since Monterey Bay played Miami at home. A game winner, final few minutes remaining for Monterey Bay to get the 3-point result. And since that Miami match, Monterey Bay hasn't had a result. So Valesky coming onto the pitch looking to do just that again at home.
Now Fjellberg in the book, a second yellow. They are down to 9 men.
Fjellberg staying with Donor down the flank and getting the feet of Donor while also two-hand shoving Donor to the ground, knowing that Donor was off to the races. There was nothing he could do defensively. And Fjellberg, the second 9-player in the attack for Colorado Springs. They lose both of those players, so now McGee, Tejada are going to be those main targets unless this Colorado Springs coaching staff makes a decision to sub somebody off for fresh legs in the attack.
Is that a fair second yellow for you?
I think it's a fair second yellow because of the two-hand shove at the end. If it was just the cleats that go into Donor, that's a foul, but the two-hand shove is just too much, especially with this referee who's giving out cards pretty frequently.
Now it is on a platter for Monterey Bay, 11v9 for the final 30 minutes or so, as this restart comes from Dixon and it's headed away. But in some ways, it makes it more difficult. When you haven't scored, you know you've been in this situation, and it's not as easy as it looks playing up a player or two, because the other team is going to sit back, not take any risk. You get the jeers from the crowd, you get the urgency, and it might be difficult here for Monterey Bay, even with the 2-player advantage.
Colorado Springs isn't going to be looking for goals like they did. Instead, going to sit back. You can see that in the sense that Tejada is doing a lot of defensive work right now. 1 man down is an opportunity where Colorado Springs is still going to try and play, but 2 men down for Colorado Springs, a lot of defensive action. And there are pockets that Monterey Bay can find, but it's going to take a few plays for them to continue to try and break down, just because Monterey Bay isn't a possession-oriented team. They want to go out in transition.
One thing to consider, Anna, is opportunity to coach for James Chambers. He's typically the technical director, but I think it's a bit of a risk when you have 5 subs to leave 2 players out there on a yellow in a game like this. Both players, Malik Foster and Fjellberg, got a second now. Granted, they're attacking players, less likely for them to get a second yellow, but I think some managers, maybe with more experience, might have subbed 1 or both at that point in the game. It's a risk he took, and now they're down to 9 players.
Absolutely great point, in the sense that you can't leave your 2 9s both sitting on yellows in the match when you have a referee who's been giving yellows away a lot in this match. And now not only are Foster and Fjellberg going to miss the remaining minutes of this match, but also Switchbacks go home next week and they play Lou City, who's been on a fairly good streak and can get results. So this Colorado Springs side is going to have to go back to the drawing board this week and figure out how they're going to change things within their attack because of their loss of 2 of their main attackers.
And then you can also understand his rationale there again. The head man, Stephen Hogan, is away attending to a family emergency. Usually, as we see 2 changes coming now, 0-0 away from home, 60th minute. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You don't make changes. I think that is part of the reasoning for leaving those 2 on, because you're in a situation, you're in a pretty good spot, 0-0, but second yellows for 2 attacking players, very unfortunate for Colorado Springs, as we see Deshane Beckford replace Juan Tejada.
Especially with how Fjellberg and Foster have been able to contribute to goals this season. Foster with 3 goals and 3 assists. Fjellberg with the goal and an assist himself and only 6 starts. there's so many opportunities within those two players that Colorado Springs was hoping they'd be able to convert a few goals, and now put in a position where they're going to have to make some subs, especially in the attacking third, putting midfielders on who can just run, do the defensive work, but also try and help in the attack.
The other change was Duke Lacroix. Lacroix comes on as well. Speedy Williams' cross is headed away. So Beckford replaces Tejeda.
Robert, how long?
Now Tyreek McGee departed to give way to Duke Lacroix. 1 goal, 1 assist in 14 appearances for Lacroix. And by the way, Matthew Corrigan has now given 6 red cards in 12 USL Championship games this season. No referee in the league has given more.
Players on the field right now have to recognize how this referee is seeing this game and how he's giving away cards more frequently than maybe other referees within the league. So being smart, don't get too physical, don't allow the emotions of this game to take hold of the game, especially if you're Colorado Springs and potentially going down 3 men.
For now, they're doing the job. They're 20 minutes away from a point on the road.
And the substitution of Tejeda was really smart by Colorado Springs because he's sitting on a yellow card. You cannot lose Fieldberg, Foster, and Tejeda in the match against Lou City. Taking him off makes a really smart decision. Coming out of here with a point could allow this Colorado Springs side to still be happy, to still find themselves in a fairly good spot in the Western Conference.
And worth noting, Skundrich is still out there. He's on a yellow. So if you're thinking about 11v8, Skundrich must be careful. Now further changes available for Colorado Springs. Romario Williams having another good season, 8 goals and 23 appearances. Steven Echeverria is available as well. He's been another regular, 3 goals and 22 appearances. Jairo Henriquez and Marco Rios.
Now Monterey Bay is put in a position where they're going to have to possess. It's very uncomfortable for them. They've struggled to kind of connect, and Colorado Springs has taken advantage of some of the missed passes from this Monterey Bay side.
Sitting very deep. There's the cross. Punched away by Kuzminski. Dixon with his head up. Chase Boone. Good delivery, but headed away. Good numbers in front of the goal for Colorado Springs. Another cross, and it's right to the hands of Kuzminski.
Better idea from Monterey Bay, being patient, waiting for those numbers to get inside. However, it goes straight to the goalkeeper, who doesn't have to leave his line too much. Veliski, a player who's phenomenal in the air, looking for his head, being able to contest against a Mahoney or Agron centrally.
Here's Dixon trying to increase the tempo for Monterey Bay. 11 versus 9 for Monterey Bay after the second yellows to Malik Foster and Jonas Fjellberg. That's good defending right there. Matt Mahoney just shouldered off his man, squeezing off Sam Gleadle. Alec Lara joining. Roberts. Boone, good pullback. Boone bending it, and it's headed off the line. It may have gone in, it may have been just wide. Good work from Musa. Then a side volley is off the mark.
Musa in the right place at the right time, jumps inside his goal as Boone takes a great touch inside, looking for the frame. Watches Boone, gets it out wide. He sees that the option is inside and watches Musa just gets up at the last minute, times that perfectly as Boone looking for an opportunity with no Colorado Springs numbers stepping to him centrally, chopping it inside the box.
And the challenge here for Monterey Bay, again on paper to a casual fan, how can you not score 11 versus 9? But the challenge, Anna, is now Colorado Springs has no incentive to go for it. They want to just get a point, sit behind the ball. You're not going to get any moments of transition if you're Monterey Bay.
Plenty of time to do this as well for Colorado Springs. They don't have to see out an 80-minute match, just 15 minutes remaining in this match. It's easy to sit back defensively and allow Monterey Bay, who doesn't like to possess and doesn't like few opportunities inside the box. It's easy to clear some of these balls.
Throw-in coming to Monterey Bay. Quick taken by Roberts into Dixon. It's Moby Fair, just wide of the far post. Moby Fair struck that quite well.
Fair with a great look on frame, keeps that ball low and hard where no Colorado Springs players could step in front of it. Watches Fair, uses his laces just a too far of far post. Those are the opportunities that are open for Monterey Bay outside the 18 when there's no options popping up centrally inside the 18.
Joe Kuzminski to restart. Now a chance at the back, but able to sweep it aside is Hugh Roberts. As Lacroix was fouled, they're asking for a red card.
Colorado Springs with an opportunity and behind. The goalkeeper stepping off of his line to slow down this chance, which is Colorado Springs in transition and trying to play it back to their own player. Herrera stepping off of his line, trying to slow down this play, but gets all player instead of getting to the ball.
That's a tough decision. I think that could be a red card. It could be a yellow. It's really, really tough.
Definitely a red card in the way that Herrera was outside of his box as well. Herrera gets so lucky in that moment.
Yeah, it's tricky because it's the goalkeeper, so you almost add an exclamation point, but if you treat it exactly the same as a defender, and it's the same situation, there's two behind that defender, and he grabs a guy by the shoulders, it's probably not a red. I think it's human nature to say that's the goalkeeper off his line, making the play, it's a red. Tough decision there for Corrigan, he goes yellow. Free kick here. Oh, what a goal! Colorado Springs down 2 men, have the lead. It's Jay Chapman with the kiss off the crossbar. Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC are in front in Seaside.
A great hit from Chapman to just hit it over top of the wall, but see it just underneath the crossbar. Watches Chapman, an in-swinger over top of the bar. Nothing Herrera could do as he steps off his line a little too far. Watches Herrera, he makes that jump a little too late. Times it really well, rather gets into the right position, just doesn't time it well. Well done by Chapman to see it over top of the wall and underneath the crossbar.
First of the season for Jay Chapman.
At number 11, Wilmer Martinez.
A double change after the goal is scored. They are preparing to come on. Now James Murphy.
Could have argued the fact that Herrera should have received a red card, but it's even more punishment that Monterey Bay goes down a goal now in the 78th minute with just 11 minutes left to try and tie this one up.
Adrian Rebelar on for Chase Boone, one of the changes for Frank Yallop. James Murphy on as well, alongside Walmer Martinez, who's on the ball here. Walmer Martinez came on for Alex Dixon. That was a beautiful free kick for Jay Chapman, a veteran of North American soccer.
Colorado Springs, a side who is experienced and they know how to take advantage of their opportunities. Don't get that red card against Herrera. However, Chapman, just to be so patient, to be poised in that moment, to not pass it off and to look for that shot himself. A great hit on frame.
And let's be honest, it's a mistake from Kai Green that leads to the free kick. You're up 2 players, you're doing a soft header back to your goalkeeper. Again, hindsight's 20/20, but not the play you need to make there when you have a 2-player advantage. That's one of the only ways. And look at the reaction for Chapman as he goes to the bench.
Monterey Bay's back line has been so consistent in this consistent winless streak in these last time games. And Green is the one player who makes a silly mistake that results in a goal. And that can happen in an instant, especially when you're playing down a man. The tactics of the game change and it can confuse a team.
Now it's Monterey Bay back the other way. Gleedle, wide, cross comes through. Musa with the clearance, headed central. Murphy's first touch off the bench, wide for Walmer Martinez. Martinez grew up in Santa Cruz. He played right here at Cal State Monterey Bay as a college player. Knocked down in the box, free kick is given. It will go against Monterey Bay.
A lot of numbers inside the box. Monterey Bay finally getting them there. However, a lot of pressure on Musa. Just takes him down inside his own 18. You can see the frustration from Monterey Bay. Not only have they struggled to find a goal with 8 shots in this match and no shots on target, but also allowing Colorado Springs to score off a set piece.
Valesky applying pressure before it's cleared. Murphy inside. Roberts. Baca over the top.
Monterey Bay continuing to try and find confidence by passing the ball and finding an opportunity centrally. Baca just hitting it over top of the crossbar. Monterey Bay, you can see they're getting a little bit depleted once they get into the attacking third. Those crosses are coming as consistent as they were in the first half or before Colorado Springs scored a goal.
Jesse Maldonado on for Alex Lara from Chandler, Arizona. He's played 82 total minutes across 5 appearances this season. Good pressure once again. And Deshane Beckford forcing Carlos Herrera to use good footwork to elude him. Goal kick here to Colorado Springs.
Monterey Bay trying to take advantage of Colorado Springs, putting so many numbers forward. Donor trying to get out, trying to find a ball centrally. That's been the biggest role from Donor throughout this season is that player who's going to stay wide and wreak havoc by putting balls inside the box. It just hasn't gone Monterey Bay's way in this match.
This would be a stunning result for Colorado Springs. Down to 9 players for most of this second half. But through a sublime free kick goal from Jay Chapman, the visitors have a lead here in the 84th minute.
Colorado Springs just slowing down the game. Referee yelling at the Colorado Springs side, making sure that this ball gets back into play. Colorado Springs just trying to kill the minutes. A massive road win potentially for this Colorado Springs side can mean so much in these remaining few minutes in this playoff push.
Here's a break for Donor and Monterey Bay. Baca on the overlap. Slides to keep it in play. Kai Green, James Murphy, Donor, low cross. Musa clears. Murphy settles. Corner kick coming.
Great defensive play from Colorado Springs, just so patient and allowing Monterey Bay to keep the ball, but as soon as that ball gets wide, they close down that space and not allow that cross inside the box.
Short to Baca, top of the box. Echeverria chested down. Maldonado had the hits. Good touch there inside the 6-yard box. Heroic defending here from Monterey. They continue to guard the box, and Gleedle over the bar.
Gleedle instead take that ball down. Those balls are so hard to hit and to get completely over the ball where it's actually on frame. Monterey Bay does a great job to keep this play alive. Donor just not able to get that ball in a threatening area. And Colorado Springs, watch this as they don't clear this one out all the way. Gleedle tries to hit that ball in a half volley. Just too difficult of a ball to hit. Instead, pull it down and continue to knock it inside.
Guzminski will receive treatments. Jay Chapman. Free kick goal, the difference in this game. Now the well-traveled Canadian. A moment of magic. A time at Inter Miami, Toronto FC. After a good college career at Michigan State.
Jay Chapman has spent time with Toronto FC2 side, Toronto FC side. He's been everywhere, and 29 years old, he brings so much experience in his first year in USL Championship, and the fact that they were able to go up in a free kick opportunity and take advantage of a moment that was the biggest moment to score when they're playing with 2 men down. It's an opportunity where Monterey Bay, if they don't get a result out of this one tonight, is going to have to take a very hard look at themselves and how they're playing, the formation they're playing in, what players are playing in what spot, not being able to get that result and their opponent being down 2 men at home.
Rafael Baca, James Murphy, cycles it wide here, Walmer Martinez. Jesse Maldonado. Murphy and Baca. Baca gets the return ball. Penalty. Rafael Baca has earned a penalty as he entered the box. Colorado Springs players saying the foul occurred outside of it, but Matthew Corrigan had a good view of that. And credit to Baca, defensive midfielder, for making something happen.
Baca passing the ball inside the box and drawing the attention. Watch as Baca plays this ball inside but continues his run and follows it. And as soon as he gets inside the 18, the defender isn't tracking him back properly. And watch as the defender from Colorado Springs just uses his right foot, doesn't get the ball, gets all of Baca's ankles, and that's a penalty kick inside the 18.
Steven Echeverria committed the foul. Christian Valesky will go to the spot, 7 goals on the season. To pull a goal back in the 89th minute and even this game. Dramatic second half from Seaside. 2 red cards, 1 sublime free kick from Chapman, now a penalty, and a potential equalizer from the substitute Christian Valesky. And he sends the goalkeeper, Kuzminski, the wrong way. There's life inside Cardinale Stadium. 8 on the season for Valesky. And we're tied at 1 entering the 90th minutes.
Valesky with the patience and the power to put it the exact opposite way that the goalkeeper is going. Kuzminski goes to his right, and Valesky, using his instep, makes sure he puts it in the right spot where he wants to go, but also using that power. A slight hesitation from Valesky, and notices that Kuzminski goes to his right, picks up the ball at the back of the half, and still, rather back of the goal, and then still trying to look for an opportunity.
Going the other way, a shot for a handball, free kick is given, yellow card is shown. And the momentum is entirely swung, Anna Whitty, and now Monterey Bay is 1 goal away from a real smash and grab.
Monterey Bay putting all their numbers inside the box, looking for an opportunity off a set piece, a little far out from the area, but still some of the best chances, trying to get Colorado Springs on their heels here and using that momentum from Valesky's PK.
9 minutes will be added on here at the end of the second half. Murphy delivers, but a foul called on Hugh Roberts as he fought for position.
Great idea from Monterey Bay, putting that amount of players on top of the 18. It draws all the attention for the Colorado Springs players, not putting anybody in the middle of the field, just waiting for that ball to bounce. Unlucky from Monterey Bay. They get a foul and don't get an opportunity off that free kick.
Rafael Baca here in the penalty. With a smart run, joining the others in the box. Cross from the left is headed away. It falls to Kai Green. Donor trying to find an angle. He's found a corner kick. Corner kick to the Union.
Great idea by Colorado Springs to create this corner kick opportunity. Murphy with an outswinger. This is a massive one. Monterey Bay's had way too many chances at these corner kicks. Now 9 corner kicks to put one away.
Murphy from the corner. High lofted delivery, Green heads it down. Kept in play by Moby Fair. Through traffic and on the wrong side of the near post from Jesse Maldonado. It was deflected. It will be a corner kick as Kuzminski tries to kill a little bit of time.
Maldonado in the right place at the right time. Watch as Valesky keeps this ball in play. Maldonado sees that there's only a small second to hit that one. Just a little too far near post.
Corner kick. And a penalty has been given. Kai Green in the face of the defender. This was a real wrestling match on the backside, past the far post. Second penalty of the second half for Monterey Bay. Matthew Corrigan had a good view of it. And let's take another look.
Watch on the middle of your screen. Monterey Bay's going up for the header, and Colorado Springs just gets a little too much of a hand on the back of them. the far right of your screen, pulls the Monterey Bay player down from behind.
Oscar Agren. I thought he's had such a good night dealing with so many crosses. He's been excellent in the air. That's a tough call.
Well, it's Green against Agren, two really big players, and Agren knows that he's gonna have to put a little more into Green in order to keep that one out of the back of the net, but well done by Green to feel that pressure and go down in the box like that.
Valesky converted the last penalty. He went to Kosminski's left. He takes a penalty about 5 minutes later. Does he go the same way? Does he go the opposite way? Where will he go? What a wild second half from Seaside.
That is an understatement.
Here's Valesky. He goes the opposite way and he has his second goal, and he's given Monterey Bay a second half lead.
Valesky so patient to find side netting and using his instep again to go the opposite way. Kosminski just doesn't time it perfectly again, and Valesky gives this Monterey Bay side so much energy, and watches Kosminski again with his instep. Kosminski goes the same way, expecting Valesky to go to the right. And so much power. Valesky with so much confidence as well. You can see he's had multiple opportunities throughout his career to put those home and to put Monterey Bay up by 1.
It means a lot to Valesky, now 9 on the season. Hard to take 2 penalties in the same game, but he went in the opposite direction, beats Kosminski, and now, from a very demoralizing loss, Monterey Bay is about 5 minutes away from a comeback victory with goals in the 89th and 94th minutes.
Monterey Bay did a great job of just being patient inside the 18 and taking their chances and being very aggressive once they get there, making it really difficult for Colorado Springs to deal with. Taking multiple PKs in a game is so hard, but Valesky made it look so easy, decided to go 2 different ways to throw off the goalkeeper.
Here's a restart. Out towards midfield. I'm just thinking that celebration might have been with Simon Dawkins, the veteran teammate who's been questionable this week with a knee injury. He's not on the team sheet. Would have been a cool moment, Valesky celebrating with his injured teammate behind the goal, Simon Dawkins. There's a knockdown from Kai Green. What a wild second half. 2 second yellows for Colorado Springs. A go-ahead goal on a beautiful free kick from Jay Chapman. Then 2 penalties given, both converted by the substitute Christian Valesky. Skundrich, and it's cleared by Roberts. Baca out towards midfield. It's wide open in Seaside. Good turn from Gleedle. He's taken down by Musa. And now we might have some pushing and shoving. Gleedle did not appreciate that challenge. A straight red card to Musa. The 3rd red card of the second half for Colorado Springs.
Musa, the last defender, is always a straight red as Gleedle gets in behind, watches Gleedle, takes a great touch. He doesn't use his teammate, and Musa's the last defender and takes out Gleedle with his ankles. It has to be a tactical foul, and this is all Musa can do to stop Gleedle from going in behind. Straight red card because he's the last defender, and also kind of uses his cleats to go in against Gleedle as well.
That was the easiest decision of the 3, I believe, for Matthew Corrigan.
That's an understatement, and not only in the sense is Musa the last defender, but there was a lot of cleats involved in that scrum. You'd have to see it again to see specifics. However, it's a good red card no matter way you look at it. And now Colorado Springs down with 8 players.
Just a bizarre second half for Colorado Springs. Maybe the saltwater air of Monterey just collectively affecting the decision maker. 3 players sent off in the second half. Now 11 versus 8 in the 99th minute from Monterey Bay.
A crazy game for Colorado Springs that started off so strong. The way that they were able to build up in the possession, the amount of shots they got, what Tejada did in the build-up, and the coaching staff of Colorado Springs making a good tactical decision to take Tejada off because he had a yellow card. Just too many yellows to the attack of Colorado Springs.
There comes Baca into the box once again. To the near post, it's fallen! Nice save, Kuzminski off his line so well as he turns away Sam Gleadle.
3 big stops from Kuzminski. Kuzminski stepping off of his line, not allowing Gleadle to get an opportunity by making himself big. Gets up again against Valesky outside of the box.
Christian Valesky, 2 penalties, both converted. The first in the 89th minute, then 90 plus 4. Offside flag is up. The 9 minutes have elapsed, but you have to account for the red card plus the penalty which was given. So I think we might go maybe plus 11, maybe plus 12. Not sure what Matthew Corrigan is hearing from his 4th official. Restart from midfield. Robert Sky is above everyone to head away. Full time from Cardinale Stadium. A wild, electric second half, and Monterey Bay has finally snapped the 9-match unbeaten run, and the face of Frank Yallop tells the story.
Coach Yallop feeling so much relief, and those 2 PK goals from Monterey Bay. No run of play, big opportunities. However, they put away their chances when they had them. Colorado Springs to go up by a goal off a free kick opportunity, and Valesky coming up big. Hasn't scored a goal rather since their game against Miami at home, and coming up big twice as a leader. This is going to continue to give Monterey Bay so much momentum heading into the rest of the season.
An important win for Monterey Bay FC as they keep their playoff hopes alive. Valesky is the hero, 2 penalties for him. We have a lot to wrap up after the break. Full time from Cardinale Stadium. Monterey Bay 2, Colorado Springs 1.
Coastal Roots Hospitality is a proud partner of the Monterey Bay Football Club. Coastal Roots Events and Catering, along with its 3 iconic restaurants, Monterey, Tarpey's, and Rio Grill, invite you to pick it up and pay it forward, where 10% of all proceeds from takeout orders are donated to various local charities. Their catering service and restaurants utilize local farms, butcheries, and ocean fresh sustainability-driven seafood to deliver unique and exemplary dining experiences. For more information, visit coastalrootshospitality.com.
Christian Valesky, 2 penalties, 89th minute, plus 90, plus 4. And all smiles for this Monterey Bay side, desperate for a win. Matt Peterson with the former Penn State Nittany Lion, Anna Whitty. Monterey Bay and Colorado Springs. This was a wild one. This was the first of the red card, second yellow to Malik Foster.
Foster with the double yellow. He is already sitting on one. No reason to pull down Dixon in that moment. The second double yellow comes to Fieldberg as Donor's trying to find an opportunity down that right flank that he has the entire match, crossing the ball inside. So this Colorado Springs side already playing down 2 men, 2 opportunities from Monterey Bay, looking for chances in the wide areas, wasn't able to convert. And in transition, Colorado Springs did a really good job of finding a moment that the goalkeeper steps off his line completely, and Herrera not able to make this step. Rather, this would be a great opportunity for him to save it. Just jumps way too late, goes in the back of the net, and a great goal by Chapman to put Colorado Springs up by 1. Then this Monterey Bay side got creative and crafty inside the box, noticing they're going to have to draw a foul and a PK foul if they want to find the back of the net. Valesky finds the first one and finds the second one again by the pull down. A Grin pulls down Green inside the box. Valesky to slide one home again to put Monterey up by 1 for the first time in 9 matches. Monterey Bay. Then there was another red card by Musa. Last defender, a little bit of cleats against Gleedle. And they are able to take home a win for the first time in 9 games with a lot of confidence moving forward. Wasn't the prettiest brand of soccer from Monterey Bay, but much better with the 12 shots and 2 shots on target, was able to maintain the majority of possession, 50%. And those 3 offsides are okay from Monterey Bay because they're really testing the opponent's line.
Anna Whitty, there are the stats. I'll give you a chance to have one last thought on this wild Monterey Bay win.
Monterey Bay has to use this momentum, finding themselves now in the 10th spot in Western Conference, just 2 spots out of that playoff potential. There's still plenty of soccer left to be played, and they have to use that momentum. Valesky gets a little bit fat power underneath his wings moving forward into the next match. A really consistent back line as well, so many good parts. They're starting to click together those pieces in the attacking third.
A big moment for Valesky, celebrating the second goal with the injured Simon Dawkins. This one had it all. 3 red cards, 2 penalties, a wonderful free kick goal from Jay Chapman, but in the end, a great fight back for Monterey Bay. 2 goals after the 88th minutes. For Anna Whitty and our entire crew, Matt Peterson saying so long. Full time from Seaside, Monterey Bay FC over Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC by a score of 2-1.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.